Hello friends. Now let us look at something called customer segmentation. So if I have to ask you who is your customer, and we have already dealt with that subject, but basically we have to find out what kind of customer, what is the segmentation of the customer that we are going to do. Just like the old saying goes, master of, jack of all trades and master of none. So are we jack of all trades and master of none? Generally, I have come across many trainers when I ask them, what is your segment? What is your specific segment? What is your specific niche? And they say, no, everybody is my customer. Now, generally, when you start thinking that everybody is your customer, then it's going to get you into a little trouble, because then you will be in a very big mass of people. You cannot, the whole mass of people cannot be your customers. Now let's look at customer segmentation. So I will take one very simple example. So I have this friend called Nitin Sawant, who is a financial planner in Pune. He is a financial planner, but what he does is he does financial planning only for doctors. And you would say only for doctors, but everybody needs financial planning. Of course, yes, everybody needs financial planning, but he has decided and he has defined his customer segment to be doctors. Now what happens in this case? Nitin Sawant is a financial planner like all financial planners. He knows everything about financial planning, which every financial planner knows. So obviously he is part of that financial planning community. But Nitin Sawant knows about doctors like no other financial planner knows. This is very important. So he becomes the financial planner of the doctors. What does it mean? He knows the challenges of the doctors. He knows the cash flows of the doctors. He knows the beliefs and the attitudes and everything around the themes which doctors have. He knows, he is very empathetic to them, having known what is their background and their situation, their current situation, and what generally happens with the doctors. Because of this, what happens is he meets a large section of doctors. He gets to understand more and more people, and his depth about the doctors and the community and about that profession becomes more increasingly relevant for him as he goes on doing financial planning. And then imagine he becomes an expert. So what happens in this case is that whenever Nitin is introduced to any doctor, he is introduced as a financial planner for doctors. And that is what is the key to customer segmentation. Can you pick up 3 or 4 niches? Can you pick up 3 or 4 segments in which you can be so specialized that you really understand the depth of all these people? Now let's take another example. There are about 300 magazines in India with about 15 different segments and about 70 niches. 15 categories are there, 70 niches. So a woman's era or a femina, if you look at these magazines, they are targeted at a very different kind of female. So some of these magazines will target the middle class female. Some of these magazines will target the young females who are just working. Some of these will target the very high rich segment women who basically have a lot of money, but they don't have to work. And if you look at this, I was doing this journalism course from UK called Writers Bureau. What I realized there very beautifully is that every magazine editor has certain kind of way in which he deals with his magazine. So the number of words per article will be different in every magazine. And why are these different? Because the size of the article is dependent on the woman to whom it is targeted. And how do you look at this? So we were doing this research, we were asked to do this research, and we went through a lot of magazines, and we really found that some of the magazines had 500 word articles, some had 1200 word article. And then we were told that if you really want to understand and know to whom this magazine is targeted, because there are 30 odd magazines and every magazine has a very different niche segment of whom it is targeted to. And then they told us that if you look at the companies which are advertising on these particular magazine, you will actually get an idea about what women they are targeting, because the products, so you will have very high end products being showcased or advertised in the magazines which basically go to the women who belong to the high rich class. So similarly, different manufacturers basically choose the magazine based on the target segment. Now what happens when you do this is basically you are able to understand and do research on that kind of customer, decide what is his mindset, what is the the belief system, what is the attitude, what is the time that is available, what are the challenges, what are the requirements, and based on this the whole magazine moves around it. So my dear friends, as a trainer, I think somewhere if you are doing it, it's great, thumbs up, but if you are still not doing it and if you have not thought about this, now is the time. And furthermore, I am going to tell you how it can be done or what are the ways in which you can do this. But primarily you have to understand, you will have to decide from the whole mass or from the whole mass of people who can receive our trainings, who are those 3 or 4 absolute niche segments in which you can do this. And we will look at the various ways in which this can be done in the following in the journey, in the following things that we are doing today. Thank you.